Not a part of the
This is a guy.
The questions that you have asked today are not a part of our plan. We have ruled them out. We have ruled out any conversation around that. We have ruled it out. It is not a part of our plan. You have all been asking the same questions. We have ruled it out. We have ruled it out. It is not a part of our plan. We have ruled it out. I've ruled it out. We have ruled it out. Yes,
I think she's had a fair crack.
Well, not the US. Is that a damaging thing for the LNP?
Look, I think the damage comes from the way they decided to deal with it. And this has now gone on for 3 days solid and arguably 4 days, and is really sort of sucking all the oxygen out of the room. And, I've been there, this sort of stuff's happened, and I'm very sympathetic for David and the team. But really, I think what they should have done is they should have said that there will be a reconsideration of this issue, and it will be a conscience issue. And so be it. And Robbie Catter and the KAP have already said that they're going to bring this forward. So the moment that happened, there had to be an answer. And in these sorts of situations, Steve, a clear, unequivocal answer of what you will do is far better than 3 or 4 days of saying, non-answers. And I was sending a text to someone this afternoon about how things are going. I said, well, look, they've marched into the abortion swamp because they're stuck. They've got the 4-wheel drive stuck in the swamp in terms of issues and trying to take their campaign forward, and they're talking about this stuff. I for one, I think a woman's got to have the right to be able to have an abortion, but I think the abortion laws that we have in Queensland have gone far too far. We're basically happy to terminate, babies that are almost viable human beings. I think that's wrong. So, I think there are many people who would understand if the LNP were talking along those lines, but emphasising that they still support a woman's right to have an abortion. Now, the trouble we've got, mate, is internally they've got people from the Christian right who legitimately have their view, who wouldn't be satisfied at all with what I've just said, of course, and those arguments continue. But it's a pity they're there. And by the way, I feel that the Labor Party has been wily enough to throw this in because I haven't got it to hand and hold it up, but the Labor candidate in the seat that I lived in has today delivered a brochure that talks about this and claims that the LNP will, basically take away women's rights to have an abortion. Now, these things take 3 or 4 days to produce. How did the Labor Party know that this was going to be the issue here tonight? I think there's been some work around, some of the dark arts to feed this into the election campaign.
Very good insight as usual, Campbell. Catch up with you next Friday. Thank you, and Campbell. Anastasia Palaszczuk will be on the Sky coverage of election night. Still ahead. Should Australians leave it to the last minute to get out of a conflict?
Well, I know this is abortion. Turn one lot down. Right. I myself don't believe in abortion. And I seen a video last week on TikTok, and it described the abortion from the word go. As you know, the baby's head is always down, right? Now, when they do an abortion, they have an instrument. The fella described it as like a pair of pliers. Now, the baby's head has to be crushed. And this doctor was also saying that babies feel pain. I think he was talking about a 7-month onward. I reckon they probably feel pain much earlier. If you feel pain, your baby feels pain. I really think that. And I think that as this, we'll talk about the abortion itself. The doctor on TikTok said that they have to crush the head. And so they use these pliers and they crush your baby's head. And then bit by bit, they take it out, right? So first of all, you got to crush the head. and then you get that out, and you get all the brain matter and everything out. Then you're working down to the shoulders, so you have to crush them too. Each shoulder will be crushed, and then the arms, then they, bit by bit, they take it out. And then they would go to the trunk of the body. Well, before that, you would get to the heart, wouldn't you? And so they have to crush that, and at that moment, the baby actually dies. And so they crush that and bring that out bit by bit, along with the baby's arms and shoulders, the skin. And then you work down the trunk, and you have the insides of your baby being crushed. All the vital organs that make our bodies work will be all crushed and pulled out too in little bits, because that's the only way it can be done. And then the legs, they would crush the legs. They would break the legs like they break the arms and break all of the bones. And your rib cage must be really crushed too. And bit by bit, they would have to take that out. Then the legs, one by one, crush them, break them. Or maybe they do them together. Yeah, crush one, get that bit out, crush the other leg, get that bit out, and work up to the kneecaps and crush them, and then they work down to the feet and crush them, and bit by bit. And your baby is in a pediatric dish. Your little baby has been actually crushed to death. And that is an abortion. And then they have to get all the other matter out, the afterbirth and whatnot. But if the baby is born, and this is what I heard about Queensland, 8 babies per week are being delivered. They're born healthy, and then they're left on the bed to die. And the doctors just stand back. After they delivered the baby, doctors must have great joy and great pride when they deliver a baby. And this little helpless little baby is left on the bed to cry itself to death. And that is about 8 deaths in Victoria and in Queensland. Queensland and Victoria, they also said, babies do not have the right to life. And that is why this abortion thing is a hot potato. And it's not just in Queensland and Victoria. New South Wales has a different system, I think. Well, they haven't talked about New South Wales. But the question should be, do unborn babies have the right to life? In New South Wales they do, and in Victoria and Queensland they don't. So maybe the laws should be changed. And this is a worldwide thing. It's on the election thing over in America. Abortion is killing a child, and there are people that say women have a right. Sure they do. They knew before they had sex if they could possibly fall pregnant or something. Why didn't they use contraception? I just don't think that they have a right to kill their unborn child. Because crushing a baby bit by bit while it's in your uterus is murder. Don't you think? Well, what do you think? And to all those mothers of daughters which may want to do this in the future, should they have the right to kill your granddaughter, your grandchild? Why can't they just have the baby and give it to family to rear, or give it to some people that can't have a baby? And there are a lot of babies out there, a lot of young mums out there that in the future probably can't have a baby of their own. And then there is also the other side of the coin. You kill your baby, have an abortion, and, well, the baby's dead. When you get to 50 or 60 years old, you will start to think about that baby. It's all right while you're young, but there comes a time in your life when you can't have another baby. You can't have children. And that happens at 52 for women. Men can always find a younger woman and have another child. But then you have that stuff entering your mind. It's all right for these politicians to say that you should be able to have an abortion, but maybe you need to be mentally prepared, and you should really be assessed before you even think of doing this terrible deed to your child, your parents' granddaughter or grandson. I mean, and a lot of, when you think about it, just killing one baby has a lot of people involved. You might not think about it at the time. It's my body. I don't want to be pregnant at this time, or I want this child out of my womb and I want it now. But the fact is, there could be at least 20 people involved in this, because when you have a baby, family members gather around. Family members are related. And how would they feel if you killed their little cousin, a future auntie or something? You know, how would your sisters feel if you did that? Or you killed your mother's grandchild just because you wanted to have a bit of freedom at some young age. So you have to really be prepared. And are all these these young mothers that are probably in their 20s or early 30s, are they really prepared? And what if you can't have another baby when you actually want it? What if having this abortion, the crushing of the baby in the womb, your tubes get scarred or something? What about that? Or do they get cut or something? What about those accidents that can happen when you have pliers inside your body snapping and doing what they do? You need to really be emotionally prepared for this if you're going to do it. And you're not allowed to talk about this. Oh, no. We're not allowed to talk about it. And on this video, it was in Parliament. Oh, at the council meeting, yeah. And when they asked the councillor, was asked a few hard questions, he said that he didn't want to know. Nobody wanted to know about the actual abortion. To him, it was just a procedure. But if you start talking about it and describing it, things might change a bit. And that's what needs to be done. And if you put stuff like this on Facebook, TikTok, they take it down because it's you're telling the truth, and people don't like being told the cold hard facts. You're not allowed to things like this are not allowed to be told because it hurts. The truth hurts. This is Joe. Bye for now.